Futurism or Futurismo was an art style originated in early 20th century in Italy, and it was all about dynamism, speed, technology, youth, violence, and it evolved around objects like cars, planes, industrial cities. They were basically tech bros from 100 years ago. I wanted to, I don't fucking know, introduce you to them or some shit. And in this episode, I'll be mostly talking about Italian futurists and Italian futurism because they done the most shit, I guess. There were also other different futurists. You had Russians, English, Swiss, Portuguese, Argentinian, French, Belgium, Ukraine, all over the place, but it really stuck out only in Italy, in Russia for a little bit, but I'll talk about that later. There was this guy called Filippo Tommaso Emilio Marinetti, and he is so-called father of futurism. He was proud Italian, really proud, but he was born in Egypt, and he was a poet and an editor. So yeah, I don't think he was a real artist. Like, if you only do one or two categories, can you really call yourself a father of something in terms of arts? Like, I don't know, maybe in writing, but he was just a poet and a fucking editor, man. His favorite things were like utopian symbolism, and he wrote Futurist Manifesto in 1909. If you want, you can read it. I'm not gonna fucking read it. It's too fucking long, honestly. He wrote Futurist Manifesto, but guess what he co-wrote? Fascist Manifesto. In 1919, he was one of the first affiliates of an Italian fascist party. So, yeah. From the things he also wrote, this time he not co-wrote it, he just wrote this in 1908. Poem to a car, titled To My Pegasus. Fucking cringe, man. It's like tech bros coming to their fucking Teslas and shit. But nonetheless, the poem is kind of cringe. I'm just gonna show some parts of it on screen. He's just basically coming all over the car idea and it existing, which is just fucking boxed and runs on explosions, dude. Chill the fuck out. Another guy that was in the futurist movement and was quite an important figure was Umberto Bocchini. I'm mentioning him because his work is fucking good. Like, I get the feeling that he was the only one that was like knowing his shit around art and stuff like that, because his work is just good. Like, he could do realistic painting, he could do fucking futurist painting, he could do sculptures, really nice sculptures. Unfortunately, he died really early. He died at like 33 years old, and he died due to fucking horse accident during the military exercise. What a way to go off. And that's why fucking artists don't belong in army, man. Like, just don't put us there. Like, we're just gonna create more harm and costs for everybody. So no, don't do that. Another dude is called Carlo Cara. He was a leading figure in a futurist movement. He hang out with exile anarchists in London. So he was traveling from Italy to meet Italian anarchists that were exiled from Italy for being anarchists, I guess. And this guy, he kind of stopped with futurism around First World War, although he used some parts of it in his future work, so it had a greater influence on him. And one of his most popular work is The Funeral of the Anarchist Gali. That was an interesting fucking funeral, I call you that, because it was kind of a political thing at the time when they were like burying the guy. People started protesting and the cops got on the fucking horses and started beating the shit out of people. So, I don't know, just regular cop stuff, I guess. Nothing fucking changed. The other painting is like Rhythm of Objects. This one, he had too much fucking shrooms. I mean, literally, one time I took too much shrooms, took fucking pastel, and started drawing shit that looked exactly like that. Okay, the other guy was called Fortunato de Pero. Yeah, so De Pero, he was a painter, writer, and a sculptor. But he was also doing some graphic design. And in 1925, he represented futurists an international exhibition of modern decorative and industrial arts in Paris. The guy's work was pretty interesting. I mean, just look at his cock. And the design of Campari soda in 1932, which just looks fucking cool. I mean, I don't know what's about this bottle, but I don't know, it's just fucking cool, I guess. Another dude was Gino Severini. He was a painter. In 1910, he co-wrote the Futurist Painter's Manifesto. And stop, put a pin or something. The Futurist Painter's Manifesto is also fucking long, so if you wanna read the whole shtick, just Google it. The Manifesto of the Futurist Painters was co-wrote with Umberto Boccini, Carlo Cara, Luigi Russo, Giacomo Bella, Gino Severini, which now we're talking about, but he's paused for now. So it is quite long thing to read, but they had 8 main principles. And I kind of dig it, man. Like, with our enthusiastic adherence to futurism, we will, first of all, destroy the cult of the past, the obsession with the ancients, pedantry, and academic formalism. Which, in a sense, I agree on, because we should evolve as artists, we should paint new stuff, we shouldn't be, like, stuck with one style or whatever, so, yeah. And the fucking paintings that already existed for centuries are so fucking boring, man. Go crazy on art, you know? The second rule: totally invalidate all kinds of imitation. Also fucking good. Don't copy other people, right? Seems reasonable. Number 3, elevate all attempts at originality, however denting, however violent. Fourth rule is bear bravely and proudly of smear of madness, which they try to gag all innovators. So it basically is like, if people call you mad, don't listen to them. Just fucking do what you're doing, because it's art. It doesn't really have rules. Fifth, regard art critics as useless and dangerous. 100% agree, yes. 6. Rebel against the tyranny of words, harmony, and good taste, and other loose expressions which can be used to destroy the works of Rembrandt, Goya, Rodin. It's just stupid. Gatekeeping words, man. 7th. Sweep the whole field of art clean of all themes and subjects which have been used in the past. So experiment, I guess. Okay, 8th, which is the last one, is support and glory in our day-to-day world. A world which is going to be continually and splendidly transformed by victorious science. Yeah, fucking science. Hell yeah, man. Support the science. Science cool. And there's another tiny part from the manifesto of painters, of futurist painters, 100% fucking agree on, which is: the dead shall be buried in earth's deepest bowels. The threshold of the future will be swept free of mummies. Make room for youth, for violence, for darling. Okay, hear me out. Just fucking take the violence from there and just fucking throw it away. It's pretty good, right? I mean, it's not fair that the world is changing so fast and the fucking mummies run it, you know? It's so funny to me that in United States of America, which is like one of the youngest countries on earth, right? You always pick the oldest fucking dude there is. Like, I'm pretty sure the Biden now is like, he don't really fucking know what's happening. Like, at all times, he's that old. Let's unpause it and go back to our Gino Severini, the painter. Starting with the movements he was in, because none of them make fucking sense. I'm not even exaggerating this, because he was in the movement that was called neoclassicism, which, yeah, it's just like, go back to classic. And then he was also in return to order, which sounds like a villain plan, I guess, but it was basically a movement in art that rejected avant-garde, which the fucking futurism in its core was. He also really liked divisionism, which everything is a dot. It's really similar to pointillism. So okay, this was kind of scientific way of looking at art, but it was, well, still maybe a little bit classic, because the subject were classic, but the technique was innovative, I guess. The dude was also in Cubism, which Cubism is the avant-gardist, and Return to Order was complete opposite of it. You see, what the fuck, dude? How could he be like this? He was also associated with, well, Novecento Italiano, and I hope I'm pronouncing this wrong, because it was an artistic movement created as an art-based rhetoric of the Mussolini's fascism. So big fucking yikes. He had some interesting work though. Hunting-Dancer, 1911, the Pan Dance, the same year, and Dynamism of a Dancer. Another dude, which I guess he was the best one from them. He wasn't that crazy, at least I hope, because I couldn't fucking find anything on him, was called Giacomo Balla. He was a painter, teacher, and he was one of the proponents of the futurist movement. Although he wasn't interested in machines or violence, he wasn't also really in like Nazi party or something, so good for him. And he painted the absolute favorite futurist paintings of mine, which is Dynamism of a Dog on a Leash. It's just beautiful. Like every single part of it, the leash, the fucking dog, the lady legs, the fucking sidewalk here, it's like blurred and stuff properly. I don't know, just really like that one. Also painted Abstract, Speed and Sound, 1914. Really expressive painting, I must say. Another dude was called Luigi Russo, and he was a painter and a composer. He had really good paintings. Like, for example, Self-Portrait with Skulls, painted in 1909. Scent, 1910. Dynamism of a Car, and because he was a composer, La Musica. And this painting is just what happens when you take acid and start playing on a piano. I mean, that checks out with his music career, I guess, because his music was avant-garde and experimental. And it's quite possible that he was probably first of the noise artists that we know of. Yes, there is genre that's called noise music, and it is exactly that. It's just fucking noises. He even wrote The Art of Noises in 1913, which I assume would be like a fucking Bible for noise musicians. He built noise machines and did concerts that sounded like this. And it's not good. Now when we established that futurists were a bunch of crazy motherfuckers, I want to introduce you to futurist cooking. Yes, that was part of the fucking futurist culture. And guess who was the most into that? Marinetti, of course, in 1914. Marinetti introduced futurist cooking. It was directed at combining astronomy and art, but isn't a cooking already a form of art? I don't know, but he wanted to also transform eating experience, or rather merge eating experience with the performance art. And the futurist movement recognized that people think, dream, and act according to what they eat and drink. So cooking and eating has to be aesthetic as fuck, so you'll be pretty or behave in a good way. I don't know. Futurist food is also considered a means to address political and social issues, which is, yeah, what the fuck? Why are you doing food political? Just don't. That was going around depression in Italy, where the food was scarce. So they figured, why not convince Italians to fucking abolish pasta? Yep, I'm not making this up. One of the main ideas was the rejection of pasta, as it causes pessimism, lack of passion, and you genuinely just get fat and lazy because of pasta, which checks out when you look at Italians. And of course, he was selling this shit as it was some fucking miracle diet that he invented to transform Italians from pasta eating fucks and mandolin players to modern active citizens. And he also argued that abolishment of pasta would free Italy from foreign wheat supplies, which just sounds like tinfoil fucking talk. In the futurist cooking, the knife and a fork are also abolished, while perfumes are added to enhance the tasting experience, but eating perfumes, I feel like that would fucking de-hance the eating experience, right? As mentioned, performative art was supposed to be a part of eating, so meals were served to be fundamentally changed. And I will give you some examples of that. So some food on the table would not be eaten, but only experienced by eyes and nose. Food would arrive rapidly and contain many flavors, but only few mouthfuls in size. All political discussions and speeches would be forbidden. Music and poetry would be forbidden except during certain intervals. Why it does feel like 5-star restaurant, especially the part with like the fucking mouthful in size. They also thought that traditional kitchen equipment should be replaced with scientific equipment, bringing modernity and science to the kitchen. Why not just reinvent the fucking kitchen stuff? For example, they suggested equipment included ozonizers to give the food a smell of ozone. The fuck? Ultraviolet ray lamps to activate vitamins and other active properties. Electrolyzers to decompose items into new forms and properties. Okay, I'm not gonna read them all, but what the fuck, dude? Maybe just replace the fucking plate with tires, huh? Have you thought about that? Probably not, because that would be in your fucking cooking manifesto. But that's experience and kitchenware. What about the fucking food, you might ask? Well, I will give you some examples. The first one is called Italian breasts in the sunshine. This was a futurist dessert that featured almond paste topped with a strawberry and then sprinkled with fresh black pepper. They got me to the fucking pepper. It sounded good. What the fuck? Diabolical roses. Deep fried red rose heads in full bloom. That don't really sound edible. Divorced eggs. Hard-boiled eggs are cut in half. Their yolks are removed and put on a puree of potatoes and then whites on one of carrots. I don't know what the fuck. Huh? That sounds like a 4-year-old in a kitchen. Milk in a green light. A large bowl of cold milk. Few teaspoons of honey. Many black grapes. How fucking many? And several red radishes illuminated by a green light. So you need 4 things. And the author suggests that it will be served with a polybibita, which was cocktail of a mineral water, beer, and blackberry juice, which sounds fucking just, I don't know, disgusting. But I just don't like blackberries. And the meal begins. And the first course is polyrhythmic salad, which consists of a box containing a bowl of undressed lettuce leaves, dates, and grapes. The box has a crank on the left side. Without using cutlery, the guests eat the right hand while turning the crank with the left. This produces music, to which the waiters dance until the course is finished. If that doesn't sound fucking insane, I don't know what is. Oh, fucking hell. The second course of the meal would be magic food, which is served in small bowls covered with tactile materials. The bowl is held in a left hand, while the right picks out bowls made out of caramel and filled with different ingredients such as dried fruits, raw meats, garlic, mashed banana, chocolate or pepper. The guests cannot guess what flavor they will encounter next. What the fuck? You might just shit to one of these and just like serve it. You can get mashed banana, but you can get my mashed fucking shit. What the fuck? Okay, once you eat your stupid caramel balls with unknown substances inside, there's the time for third course. And the third course is tactile vegetable garden, which is a plate of cooked and raw green vegetables without dressing, and the guests eat the vegetables without the use of their hands, instead burying their face in the plate of vegetables, feeling the sensation of the greens on their face and lips. Each time guest raises their head to chew, the waiters spray their face with perfume. Imagine getting part of a fucking vegetable stuck in your eye. You wanna call a waitress to just help you out. You just lift your fucking face and they just spray you with the perfumes. Which what the honestly have no words for this fucking stupidity. But I guess guy that was friends with Mussolini wasn't really sane, was it? In 1914, he visited Russia and was really surprised to discover that many Russian futurists did not profess to owe him anything. Oh, well, boo-hoo. Yeah, but this is the most Italian thing he has done ever, I think. But I've mentioned Russian futurists just now. And about these, I will talk a little bit more because, of course, the Russians, they had to just fuck it up. So you had ego-futurists, then you had futurists, then you also had cubo-futurists. Of course, cubo-futurists were combining futurism with cubism, which I don't fucking, it was just like a mess, I guess. But more or less, it was just the same thing. But Russians, on the other hand, not like Italians. Italians were Nazis, right? But Russians, they acknowledged no authorities whatsoever. They were laughing at the prince and stuff like that. They didn't like the monarchy. But of course, after the Bolshevik Revolution, some of the artists, they showed their work, their futurist work to Lenin. And Lenin didn't like the futurist work. So guess what fucking happened? Some futurists from Russia, they just adjusted to the government, to the Bolshevik Revolution, and they just started producing art that was acceptable by the party. Some of them just fucking died. And by 1920s, futurism was dead in Russia. It's so fucking typical in Russia. You have this great movement, but you have this shitty fucking guy in power that don't likes it, and the fucking movement dies. Russia, I know you have good artists there. Don't be so fucking stupid with the politics, you idiots. In conclusion is, always remember that most futurists were Nazis, because some people like to wash history out of these details. And I see a lot of like futurist work popping, some international futurist exhibitions. I mean, I get it, the aesthetic is really interesting. There are some good artists there. Let's not forget the bad things in history as well. So don't forget they were fucking Nazis. I mean, father of futurism co-wrote Fascist Manifesto. So in conclusion, fuck Nazis. Bye.